I am a normal person who wants to make extraordinary things normal.
How much money do you make? I make quite a lot of money.
Welcome to all of the subscribers. Yay, my name is Ino, and I am here because Nicolette is a financial guru, and I just want to have to hear what she has to say and what advice she can give to us as students going forward who are trying to be young entrepreneurs or trying to build a career from what it is that we're studying right now.
The reason I'm here is because you'd find that most of us don't have family that has built large wealth over the years, and we lack that knowledge. You know, I mean, amongst black people, the one conversation that's always very difficult around the dinner table is usually about money. And it's always awkward to ask your parents about how does it work, either because they don't like speaking about money or because they don't know much about money.
My name is Consilia, and the reason why I'm here is that I just want to see Nicole. I've heard so many stories about her. I want to learn more about the financial freedom aspect of finances. And yeah, I can't wait.
So what I'm expecting from today is basically to get clued up on how to actually go about actually building generational wealth for myself, you know, being the first generation, how to actually optimize on my savings, how to make additional streams of income and all that stuff.
Good. To hear what she has for us.
Yeah, it's the same thing for her. It's like her. Yeah. I want to learn more about financial freedom because like she's more like an inspiration to us, and such opportunities don't really come like just like this, just like this.
So basically I'm here to learn more about the financial side and also, if possible, get more ideas on how to access funding as a small business.
Okay, so I'm here today because I'm actually a follower of Nicolettes. I'm very passionate about becoming financially literate, and eventually I have a goal of being financially independent, and I think that she offers very great advice, particularly that resonates with our generation. She's young, she looks like me. I mean, it's perfect. Yay!
Welcome back to MB Moments. My name is Miriro Munodawafa, and I am here with a very special guest, Miss Nicolette Mashile, the financial guru. Like,
I don't know why you guys go.
Everybody knows you.
That is terrible.
This venue was literally full, you guys, and people are actually currently waiting for her to speak because that's just how great you are.
Oh my goodness!
You know what they said?
Make me blush.
You know what they said? They said we hosted a financial event here last year.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect, like, you know, there weren't like a lot of people, so they thought that this was just going to be, you know, the right number of people. And then Nicolette comes and it's overflowing. Literally. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. I just love the person that you are. You're such an inspiration.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
You really are. So first and foremost, I think a lot of people are curious as to who is the person behind the brand. You know, a lot of people see you as, when they think of Nicolette Mashile, they think finance. They think, you know, a powerhouse in terms of just entrepreneurship. But who are you as a person?
I think more than anything, I represent what money is supposed to be, and money is supposed to be everyday thing. It's supposed to be part of life. I think you'll hear in the talk that I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about the fact that money is not supposed to have a look. So Nicolette is really a young girl from Bushbuckridge, dusty streets of Bushbuckridge. There's absolutely nothing extraordinary about me. I am a normal person who wants to make extraordinary things normal, you know? I think the problem is that we almost hold certain people on certain pedestals because we think they are abnormal or they are amazing. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we've got to make success, we've got to make extraordinary things, we've got to make wealth, everything, we've got to make it normal. So it is attainable and accessible to everybody. So whenever I get asked who am I, I'm just Nicolette, man. I'm just a young girl from Bushbuckridge who's trying.
Oh wow, that's really amazing. Were you always financially savvy?
No, girl, come on.
Was it something that you always knew? Okay, so what drove you to be interested in finances, especially?
When you lose 125,000 rand,
wow,
you will definitely start to figure out how to do this, right? Try to buy a house, sign the offer to purchase, only finding out that the offer to purchase becomes a legally binding document when a suspensive clause gets fulfilled. So basically, if there's a bank that's willing to give you the loan that you're asking for, it means that now the document itself becomes legally binding. So now you can't go back to the real estate agent and say, I don't want this house no more. And yeah, that's what I tried to do, tried to rescind the offer from the bank, and had to settle out of court. So 125,000 Rand of my hard-earned savings went down the drain. And at that point, I realized that it was important for us to become financially fit, because the reality is that my dad built his house. So who was I supposed to ask? You know? I mean, most of us have this idea that black parents are not really good with money. It's a bit of a fallacy. Look, I think generally everyone is good with money, but you can't be good at something you don't know. Right? How do you become good at money if you've never actually had money?
What was the first lesson that you learned about money?
It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep, eh? Because let me tell you, there are many people that I know that make lots of money. You know the funny thing about South Africa? We love jumping on bandwagons. When I actually sit with people and I'm like, show me your bank statement. People don't want to show me the bank statement. You know why? Because they know they make money. Whenever I say, show me your bank statement, you will see money. And I'm sitting there like, wow, you actually make more money than I used to make when I was in your life stage, right? The problem is that people think that money is going to automatically make money. It's not. It doesn't work like that, right? I think the other biggest mistake that people make, which I also used to make, is money was a thing that lived outside of me. But it's not. Every single day when you wake up, you make financial decisions. Some of them consciously, some of them unconsciously, or whatever the other English word is.
Oh, wow. Okay, very interesting. I'm just curious as to what do you mean by when I make up, I make financial decisions? As a student, for example.
As a student, for example, you make a decision to take lunch to school. And the thing is, you make it so organically that you don't actually realize that you're making a financial decision. Am I taking lunch to school, or am I going to buy something from the cafeteria, right? Am I taking Uber, or am I waking early enough to actually take a taxi? Am I actually going to wear a certain outfit that I'm perceived differently in that outfit is going to open opportunities? Am I actually choosing to sit at university, go onto social media, go onto Instagram, like people's pages, hate on people, or am I going to log into YouTube, find a video of something that's going to be that's going to mean something and add value to my life? So money is so heavily intertwined and integrated into our lives that there's never a time when you're not making a financial decision. Everything in your life is actually a financial decision. That's why we also say date in your financial lane, hey? Because wow, don't get lost there.
That's actually so true.
No, don't get lost.
Okay, so what advice would you give to young students, as I'm like very ambitious. I am looking forward to actually invest at some point, start businesses and stuff like that. What sort of tips do you actually have for students who
strip away the power that money has? Somebody said on one of my latest videos, a young guy, actually, he's a model, he said money is like keeping scores. Right? We keep scores of each other. The only reason why a person will ask you what job do you do is not because they care about your job title. They don't care about you being a CA. They care about what they think a CA is, how much they think a CA earns. So what they do is they size you up. So what we need to do, I had a seminar once. I said to the ladies, it was young, not young, but they were working class women. I said, take out all your bank cards and flash it in the air. They did not want to do that. You know why? Because a bank card and the color of your bank card tells people how much you earn. But is that really true? It's not true. You can have a black card, and just because maybe you've got assets, but doesn't mean there's money on it, right?
True.
Access to credit, sometimes open. I only got a black card because I needed a loan.
Wow.
And the only way they could give me a loan is if they moved me to private wealth. So do you understand that it's not necessarily that you've got the money, it's that there are ways in which they've gone around it. Now you can get private banking without the actual amount, as long as you've got a degree. Does it mean you've got the money? No. But people are so afraid of the power that they've entrusted on money. So people can't talk about how much they earn. Because, oh my goodness, if I tell people how much they earn, they're going to start, why don't you just say no? No is a full sentence. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to put in parameters that are supposed to manage and guide your financial decisions. So it's very important that we strip away the power that has money. You go home and everybody treats you better if you've got money. Why? Since when is money a replacement for respect? At what point did we get there? So we need to strip away money. We need to strip away the power that we've given to money, because money is actually a social construct.
So what habits do I need to start, implementing in my life in order for me to be successful?
The first thing you need to do is to get financially educated.
Yes.
Like, you cannot run away from financial education.
Yes.
It really is the only way we are going to start breaking down the pillars that hold together poverty. People talk about, oh, we can't thrive in a capitalist country. No, you can thrive in a capitalist country if you know how to play the game. The thing about money is that it's a game. Have you ever played 30 seconds with someone who does not play the game?
Yes.
That's the most frustrating thing in the world, right?
Wow, yes.
But now you guys go out into the world and play the money game without knowing the rules. How?
Oh, wow.
How are you hoping to win? How are you hoping to move the ball forward so you can score a goal? You'll never get there. So being financially educated is no longer a choice. It's a thing that you've got to get, because you cannot be a doctor that does not know interest rates. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to walk into a bank, you're going to try and buy a car, they're going to give you an interest rate of 15%, you're going to take it. But what it's essentially doing is you're locking yourself into a credit crisis that you will not be able to buy the next thing within the next 12 months.
Oh, wow. Okay, you talk about mentorship a lot in terms of just business and just getting somebody who can actually teach you in terms of how you should be successful in your business. How can I go about actually getting a mentor? What is your advice? Because I have a lot of virtual mentors. I always say this. I've been following you for a while. I follow a lot of people that actually encourage me, Vusi Timbekwayo and stuff like that. So what steps should I take in terms of getting a mentor?
Look, I think the first thing you need to do...
Are you my new mentor now?
It's funny because when I studied sports management at some point, and Jake White came to speak to us, and the first thing when they said questions, I was like, please can you be my mentor? And you know what I realized? I realized at that point, and I start to see it now as I'm going along, that a mentor means nothing if you don't have any intention of getting an outcome from them. So a lot of people like association. They don't actually want a mentor. They just want to know, I have Nicolette's number, I have Vusi Tembekwayo's number. What value is he adding to your life?
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you are not at the point where you are ready for him, because let's use a Vusi Tembekwayo for instance. My biggest mentor is Sisa Ngebulana. It's probably because I've got a bias towards property investment, right? So if I say Sisa is my mentor, what do I want from Sisa? That's the first thing I need to ask. At which point of my life am I that I need a Sisa to step in? Right now, all I need Sisa to do is just be great. I need him to be great. I need him to normalize property investment for a black girl and a black child. I don't need to speak to him ever, right? The moment I go into property and I sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm ready now to move to commercial property. I want to build a hotel. Now I'm moving in a position where I need a Sisa to actually, even if he just responds to one of my emails, you understand? A lot of people don't know what they want a mentor for. They just say, oh, give us a mentor. What do you want your mentor to do? What is the intended outcome that you want from this person? Because some of them, you don't even need to talk to them. You just need to see them, and sometimes it's about guiding you. Right? What does Sisa believe in when it comes to black tax? Is that something that I want to align with? What does Sisa believe in when it comes to property? How does he make his moves? I don't need to speak to him to know that. I just need to read literature about him. I need to be in the same spaces as him. That's about it. So I think people need to prepare themselves mentally when they're looking for mentors. Understand why you need a mentor and what role do you want them to play. Because the other thing is, you set up a meeting with your mentor, you sit there and you fan over them.
True.
You're wasting their time, right? People have things to do, people have their own lives, people have their own jobs. The mere fact that that person is your mentor means that they're actually busy with something that you aspire to be at.
Definitely.
Go there prepared, have your questions, and also ask, guys, don't do this thing of being afraid to ask questions. It's me I speak directly. I am a straight shooter. I'm sorry, and I always tell people it's because I grew up with my father. We didn't have, my mother got ripped away from us at a very young age. We ended up living in a flat with my sister, so we never learned soft skills. So I don't have that, like, even if a friend comes to me with a crisis, I don't have the thing to say, oh friend, how are you? No, it's how do we fix it?
Yes.
Right? So even when you speak to these influential people that you really want to learn something, be clear on your questions, go direct. These people are very seasoned enough to say, I won't answer that question. Ask them, how much money do you make? You know, I always get subtweeted on Twitter, and I'm like, it's the weirdest thing, because people subtweet me and they're like, she never speaks about how much money she makes. I'm like, just ask me.
How much money do you make?
I make quite a lot of money. And the reason why I make a lot. Okay, let's talk about it, because a lot is quite relative, right? I make money currently from 5 different ways. Right? I make money, I run Bunch of Winners. It's a media buying agency. At any point, I'm booking bookings worth probably 500,000 rand to maybe 4 or 5 million rand, right? I make and I charge. I don't no, we don't work for free. Right? YouTube currently pays me, ranges between what, 25,000 rand a month, maybe to one of my highest was 44,000 that YouTube pays me for putting up videos. I make money off campaigns. Now that I cannot tell you how much it is, because obviously it's brand campaigns and it's attached to brands. But at any point I don't do a campaign less than 100,000 rand. I refuse. I make money off generations. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's not, I don't even know how much I make from generations, honestly speaking. When I did Daily Theatre and we're actually shooting, I was making money from, again, TV. That's the other thing. TV, really, guys?
You actually did never know.
Right?
Yes.
And then I make money from my rental properties. On average, my rental properties pull in 9,000 rand each. I've got 4. So 9 times 4 is... You do the math. I don't know how to do math. 36 every single month, obviously minus rates and taxes and all those stuff. So I do make money.
Wow.
I don't run away from the fact that I make money, and I'm not afraid to speak about it, because it doesn't at any point define who I am. You know, people think that money defines you. Money gives you stature. Money gives you respect. Money won't change you. All it's going to do is elevate who you really are. Money is not going to change the type of upbringing that you had. You know the thing about money, it doesn't erase.
True.
It's not Tipex.
It's not.
It really is not.
There's a saying that you can take the person out of the ghetto, but you can never take the ghetto out of the person.
That's it.
Because there's certain characteristics that you have that are always going to persist.
That's it.
Random question. So I know that you're an MBA candidate currently. Yes. How is that going?
Oh, wow.
And what made you make the decision to actually go and educate yourself? Because already you're quite, established already. For some person, they're like, no, you know what? I already have my life in order. What's the point of going back to get an education? Why did you do that?
So South Africa doesn't have certification for financial education, right? And unfortunately, the only other path you can take is financial advisory. I don't want to be a financial advisor. I have absolutely no desire to be selling financial products to anyone, because in this country, 80% of South Africans are financially illiterate. How ethical is it for anyone to actually sell them financial products? So because I don't want to go into financial advisory, at some point I'm going to have to get some sort of credibility for me to do financial education. Now, I'm not going to go through the route of doing financial coaching for 30 years and then say, oh, I'm a financial coach. No, I don't need that, because that's not what I'm trying to do, right? So the MBA allows me to do research in personal finance space, and then I can become a thought leader in a certain space in financial education, which ultimately is actually, I want to do research around the idea of this new hustle and bustle that people are doing in Johannesburg, where everyone is hustling and having. I want to find out if really having more than one income stream really does work. Does it actually catalyst you to wealth creation and wealth building? I don't know. Hey, we say it, we sell the idea, get more than one job, but is it realistic? And that's really what type of research I want to do. So the MBA, is it really something I want to do? No. I'm tired of school.
But you're doing it anyway. I'm tired of school. So education is important, guys.
Yeah, look, when I was growing up, my father made us believe that education was the only way in which you could make money. The only way. He never positioned anything else. He said you need to get educated. And it was a big flaw from him. But at the same time, we came from Bushbuckridge. I wasn't exposed to anything. It's different when you grow up in Johannesburg. I always say, if I grew up in Johannesburg, guys, I would have been a star by now. I grew up in Bushbuckridge, you know. There aren't many things. I always say to somebody, if you are an actress in Bushbuckridge, where do you practice? Where do you go to learn, you know? And it's only a couple of few people that will make it out, because they actually make it out of the confines of Bushbuckridge. So yeah, my dad made education a big thing. When I failed my degree at Rhodes University, it was now education or hard work. So you gotta pick one.
You have to pick one.
And I picked hard work, but at the same time I had to get myself educated. So I'm not doing the MBA because I like it. I can tell you that right now. It's a waste of my time, honestly speaking.
Okay.
But it is there for the credibility. Also, the MBA, does it still have the same flavor as it used to? I don't know.
Just to round up the interview, what's your biggest fear?
Poverty, and again, it's something that my father indoctrinated in us.
Poverty.
I write about this in the book. I write about the story of how we went to school in Nelspruit, right? And we used to drive past I don't know if you know what Dikompo is. They're compounds where people work, and Nelspruit is big on paper making. So there's a lot of forests where they cut and chop trees. And every single time we passed there, my dad would say to us, if you don't go to school, you're gonna become poor and you're gonna end up having to work on the compound. And yeah, my father feared poverty out of us, and so for me, poverty is never an option. It doesn't. And the thing is, people will say, yeah, you're privileged. No, where's the privilege?
Oh,
guys, and you see, the other thing that people don't seem to understand is that what you may think is privilege to me is not. It's a struggle. I talk about how my mom used to drive this beat up Isuzu. It was so bad. It was a hand-me-down. It was such a bad car.
Yes.
The windows didn't close, the wipers didn't work, and this thing used to stop at any point. And it used to find a way to stop whenever it was raining. And we struggled. You know, my mother struggled. I used to see my mom cry because of that car. And then you speak about that and people are like, oh, but you guys had a car.
But it's something, like, I feel like at times you can't relate because you can never imagine life from their standpoint. So at times when you're privileged, it's like when we talk about blackness, when you're talking to a white person, at times they fail to see the privilege that is linked to
Nah. You see, you guys come with your wokeness and trying to explain this privilege thing. This privilege thing is privilege when I recognize that it's privilege. If I tell you it's not privilege, like for instance,
it's not privilege.
We got ripped away from my mom at age 8. I was 8, Bridget was 10.
Oh, wow.
We had to go and live in a flat, right? We have no mother, we have no nurturing. My father barely knows how to take care of 2 girls. My sister starts her period, she's got no one to talk to, and everyone's gonna say that's privilege. How?
So I'm guessing you had to be very mature at a very young age.
We had, maturity is not even to begin with. It was not even maturity. It was straight up struggling. We struggled, guys. And that's the reality, that people don't understand that what they perceive as a privilege is not always a privilege for the other person.
So thank you so much for joining me, Nicolette.
Thank you so much,
amazing.
baby.
And thank you so much for all the advice.
And if you could say something to Nicolette, what would you say to her? I love you. You're great. Continue doing what you're doing. Thank you.